My own sweet mother. I am sorry you had about 5 days' letter less. I hope you had my 2 letters, posted since you wrote your last, which I received tonight. I am bitterly disappointed that I did not get one of yours. I can see no excuse in deceiving you about these last 4 days. I have suffered 7th hell. I have not been at the front. I have been in front of it. I held an advance post, that's a dugout, in the middle of no man's land. We had a 3-mile march over shelled road and nearly 3 along a flooded trench. After that, we came to where the trenches had been blown flat out and had to go over the top. It was obviously dark, too dark, and the ground was not mud, not slippery mud, but an octopus of clay 3, 4, and 5 feet deep, relieved only by craters of water. Men have been known to drown in them. Many stuck in the mud and only got on by leaving their waders, equipment, and in some cases their clothes. High explosives were dropping all around out, and machine guns spluttered every few minutes. It was so dark that even the German flares did not reveal us. 3/4 dead. I mean, each of us, 3/4 dead. We reached the dugout and relieved the wretches therein. I then had to go forth and find another dugout, a still more advanced post where I left 18 bombers. I was responsible for other posts on the left, but there was a junior officer in charge. My dugout held 25 men tight-packed. Water filled it to a depth of 1 or 2 feet, leaving, say, 4 feet of air. One entrance had been blown in and blocked, so far the other remained. The Germans knew we were staying there, but decided we shouldn't. Those 50 hours were the agony of my happy life. Every 10 minutes on Sunday afternoon seemed an hour. I nearly broke down and let myself drown in the water that was now slowly rising over my knees. Towards 6 o'clock, when I suppose you would be going to church, the shelling grew less intense and less accurate, so that I was mercifully helped to do my duty and crawl, wade, climb, and flounder over no man's land to visit my other post. It took 30 minutes to move about 150 yards. I was chiefly annoyed by own machine guns from behind. The zing, zing, zing of bullets reminded me of Mary's canary. On the whole, I can support the canary better. In the platoon on my left, the sentries over the dugout were blown to nothing. One of these poor fellows was my first servant, whom I rejected. If I had kept him, he would have lived, for servants don't do sentry duty. I kept my own sentries halfway down the stairs during the more terrific bombardment. On spite of this, one lad was blown down and, I'm afraid, blinded. This was my only casualty. The officer of the left platoon came out completely prostrated and is in hospital. I am now as well, I suppose, as ever. I allow myself to tell you all these things, as I'm never going back to this awful post. It is the worst the Manchesters have ever held, and we are going back for a rest. I hear that the officer who relieved me left his 3 Lewis guns behind when he came out. He had only 24 hours in. He will be court-martialed. In conclusion, I must say, if that there is any power whom the soldiery execrate more than another, it is that of our distinguished countrymen. You may pass it on via Owen. Don't pass around these sheets and have portions typed up for Leslie, etc. My previous letter to you has just been returned. It will be too heavy to include in this. Your very own Wilfred